This video will cover the effects of pollution that are caused by conventional vehicles and how switching to cleaner electric vehicles will help to progress the world to a healthier place. Initially, I will touch on consumer attitudes towards EVs and why these vehicles are not being pushed to the forefront of the automobile industry. Next, I will explain the differences in pollution between electric vehicles and conventional cars from production, utilization, and end-of-life use, and how an increased production of EVs will make them cheaper. I will use two case studies to help prove my point. The first case study is how the government could promote the transition to electric vehicles, and the second one is on how we can power these vehicles through clean fuel, thus even more encouraging a clean environment. According to a study done in Manitoba, Canada, and shown on this first chart, people who have not experienced EVs in some fashion have low to moderate information regarding the vehicles. However, the second chart shows that over 50% of the non-experienced users are willing to learn. From this, we can assume that the majority of the population is not given the resources needed to make informed decisions about purchasing EVs. As with any product, the less a consumer knows about it, the less willing they will be to purchase. Through informing the majority, we may be able to communicate to them that EVs are a reliable source and can be bought at the same price as conventional cars. Some of the knowledge that should be passed on to consumers is the reduction in emissions that would occur should more EVs be placed on the road. From this table, we can see that in every scenario, electric and hybrid vehicles beat out conventional cars in lower greenhouse gas and air pollution emissions in the car production and utilization stages. Each scenario represents a different source of energy and how it affects the emissions. The first scenario represents all electricity coming from renewable energy. The second scenario is 50% renewable energy and 50% natural gas. And the final scenario, all electricity comes from natural gas. Electric vehicles hold an even higher advantage over conventional vehicles in the amount of emissions produced when energy is produced on board the car. We can produce more renewable energy, lowering the cost of electric vehicles following a similar strategy introduced in the Netherlands. Being a large producer of wind energy, the Netherlands ran a study on how they could effectively integrate a large number of electric vehicles, between 0 and 3.5 million, into the electricity system without having a shortage of electricity. What they found is that by using a load regimen, they can sufficiently support the needs of electric vehicles. That being said, the United States could produce tons more of renewable energy. According to the American Wind Energy Association, the U.S. was the #1 producer of wind energy last year with over 190 megawatts per hour, which could power 17.4 million homes. There are currently over 10 states that produce over 10% of their electricity from wind energy alone. This, combined with other renewable energy techniques, could be implemented together with the EVs to cause drastic changes in the climate problem. Along with cutting emissions, the United States government should also promote the transition to more electric vehicles. The U.S. could follow techniques that the Norwegian government put into place. Some of these tactics include exemptions on some vehicle taxes, free public parking spaces, free toll roads, and free battery charging in exchange for using an electric vehicle. From the table, these policies increased the amount of purchased electric vehicles in 2013 from nearly 4 times of what it was in 2011. Taking the same action in the United States will encourage more electric vehicle purchases and reduce emissions, especially in heavily populated towns where cars sit in heavy traffic and have problems finding parking spots. To close, the main emphasis is to convince more people to switch to electric vehicles to make changes in our everyday lives to help the environment. Through education of EVs and implementation help from the government, there should be no excuse on why the United States cannot use this option as part of the solution of cutting emissions nationally. Once the rest of the world sees the U.S. taking real action towards making the world a better place, they may begin to take more action themselves.